awkward turn now. But on Pensby Road, we're going to be making a right hand turn into Sparks Lane. It's turning just after the Sainsbury's petrol station. It has its own turning box that we can use, which have a centre and right mirror and a nice right indicator. And remember to turn the box, that's where we can wait, but if there's nothing to wait for, we can just drive through it and into the new road. There's not a problem, you don't have to feel like you have to wait. But this corner is awkward. An awkward 30 signs a spot there on the left, and it's always parked cars as you come around the corner. So always keep it slow there. So we're now in a 30 zone. But again, I wouldn't say you should be quite at that maximum speed limit along here, because the view of the road isn't brilliant. Now as a driver, you've got a better view around the corners than your passengers, but it's still not the best. So we want to drive at a speed where, like now, if the white cars, if someone was overtaking the white cars, we'd be able to hold back and give way. There we go. So you can see the red car in good time that they were holding. But imagine if I was doing quicker than 22 mile an hour, it might have been a bit more tricky. Same here, now the parked cars on my side, the black car, I can't see traffic that well coming towards me, so that slower speed gives me more response time to deal with the scenario. So choose a speed that suits the situation. And that's what we're demonstrating to the examiner. Not I can drive at 30, but I can choose the correct speeds up to the speed limits. We're now in Upton Village on Old Greasby Road, heading towards the traffic light crossroad by Upton Convent School. The thing to be careful of with this traffic light is that it's on a bend, and it's quite a popular route back towards the test centre, so one last thing to deal with before you reach the end of your test. Now because it's on a bend, it makes the area feel like there's a lot more room than it actually is, and that's what you could be careful of. You not want to go too deep into the junction, because a little bit too deep and your view of the oncoming traffic you've got to give way to will completely be lost. So gently as any crossroad, gently bring it in, and my advice is looking for the curb to the right of us, just bending away, or as this island to my right just comes to an end, to pause in that area, and that gives me a great view past any cars want to turn right that I can nudge with, but also see any of the oncoming traffic that I've got to give way to. Also when my chance comes to turn, it's very easy to let it slope into the new road, using that bend to my advantage in that point, because it didn't go too deep at the beginning. We're now heading from New Brighton and B&Q going towards Bidston Village. So at this roundabout we're following the road ahead, second exit. Watch out for the space of the pedestrian crossing, you want to make sure you can clear it before you go across it. Hold to the left position as you come round after the first exit, left mirror check and lean off, and then the examiner will say at the traffic lights turn right, and the traffic lights aren't very far away, so we need to be quite quick in our actions. So check your centre and right mirror, give a right indicator, and if it's safe to, drift yourself all the way across into the right hand lane and leave your indicator on as you come into the right hand lane, because it's still the action you want to do. We've changed our lanes, but we still want to turn right at the lights. We're now on Bidston Village Road, and we've got quite a challenging left-hand turn coming up. The examiner will say to you, take the next road on the left, it's just as the stone wall ends, and it's a very tight left-hand turn which actually almost comes back on itself. So it's very slow in this car, into gear 1, about 10 miles an hour. It is uphill also, so just hold the bite as you're coming around, relaxing off the clutch when you can, and squeezing the gas pedal up the hill. But it's a very slow 7-8 miles an hour for the turn, and build your speed up once you're around the corner. We're now on Boundary Road. We're now travelling along Wakefield Drive and we'll be asked at the end of the road to turn right. Now this is a bit of a different end of road, as we're actually going to be turning and crossing a dual carriageway. A dual carriageway is any road that has a barrier down the centre of it, like a curb or something fixed that separates us and the traffic in the opposite direction. What makes this one a bit more trickier, joining Lisa Road again, is that parked cars can also park along this road. It's not a clear way. The central reservation, also down the centre of the road, is only wide enough, or is very thin and not wide enough that could fit our car in, so we have to clear all 4 lanes in one movement. Also, I recommend that when you're doing the clearance is that you do make the car flow into the far left hand lane, just in case we make any mistake and move off too soon. Any cars that are travelling faster than us can overtake us in the right hand lane. So Lisa Road, you can see down the centre, the central reservation is too small to fit a car in, so if we're ever crossing it, we must clear all 4 lanes in one movement. We're now approaching St James's Church from Wallasey, heading towards Hoylake through Bidston. So it's used to be a roundabout, it's now a traffic light controlled multiple junctions. So our first approach is turning to the right. Watch out for cars from ahead of us, as they'll be on green the same time as us, unless we have our filtered arrow on. And then looking at the church, you'll see the white sign telling you of the 2 lanes, and seeing on this occasion we want Hoylake, the right hand lane, to follow the road ahead. You can be asked to turn left towards Clawton and Oxton also, which we'll look at on a different video. This light we're just passing is a separate light, so if that was on green and that person started to cross or even was waiting to cross, once it went to red, we should stop and give way to them.